with another Velogames video. Today, it's Tirreno Adriatico, recently released earlier today, and I'm going to take you through it, explaining who I think you should be picking, and mainly the conundrum that we're all faced with, which is how on earth are you supposed to get all these really good riders onto your team, because you can't pick all of them. So, let's just dive in straight at the top. Tadej Pogacar. In my eyes, I think Pogacar has to go on your team. Due to his recent form, UAE and Stradé looked fantastic. And also his time trialling ability is, well, it was underrated last year, and clearly it's at a level which could compete for a top 10 finish on that final time trial. I can't see many going up against him in terms of GC. And to be honest with you, I think that Pogacar could also do some results, some of the punchier stages, just because of how well he did in Stradé. I could see him finishing with just so many points, and he'll probably win the GC. And I know that he's 24 points, but in a similar way to how Roglic is 24 points in Paris-Nice, he's just a favourite. One of the only people who could go up against him. Bernal, he's 18 points, so if you're not going to go Pogacar, at least go Bernal, because Bernal's probably second favourite. Again, arguably stronger than Pogacar at Strade Bianchi, just because he finished in the front group with Van der Poel and Alaphilippe. Bernal, obviously not as good of a time trial, but should do pretty well on the stage 4, I think it is, which is the main mountaintop finish. I expect a Pogacar versus Bernal kind of shootout going up there. And he's proven himself to be quite good over punchy terrain, is Bernal. Speaking of people who are in that front group, Alaphilippe. He's 20 points. I think Alaphilippe is a tricky one to predict how he's going to do here. Because, of course, they also have João Almeida, who's 16 points. And the problem with putting either of these riders on is that you don't know who they're going to be working for on any respective day. So, Alaphilippe might get given leadership on the punchy stages, which means that João won't be going for those. And conversely, on stages which João is targeting, Alaphilippe won't be going for them. So that means that they're going to be treading on each other's toes and getting each other's way in terms of their objectives, which is why I'm a little bit apprehensive to put Alaphilippe on, especially since he probably won't be doing that much on GC either. And considering that you can get a Bernal for 18 points, that's much better value in my eyes than Alaphilippe because of Bernal's more than likely podium finish in this race. Wout van Aert is one who I am personally struggling with because I'm not sure whether to put him on or not. And this is quite difficult for me. So I'm going to try and make it make sense for you guys. Now, Wout is a tricky one. He can climb. He's shown that he can climb. He can sprint. He can time trial, which means that in theory this is an absolutely perfect race for him. The only problem is he's not in peak form. We saw that at Stradé. So how is he going to cope with that climb? He's never been a GC leader before. It's just a tricky one. If he goes literally and tries every single stage, he could be the top scorer in this competition. But he has to be smart if he's going to try and win. And he's got to take bonus seconds, in my eyes, to try and get ahead of Pog. He does have a better time trial than Pog, but that climb he's going to be losing maybe a minute or so. But I'm on the verge of putting White on my team, but I'm not sure. I can't fit him on, basically. I'm going to try to speed this up now because I realised that I'm already 5 minutes through and this is only going to be a 10-minute video, so let's start to rattle names off. João Almeida could potentially finish on the podium, but again has the problem of Alaphilippe. He's not going to be able to go for his own opportunities on the punchy stages and gain those valuable points there. Fuglsang, Pino, Simon Yates, don't go with them. Matthew van der Poel, probably a really good one to put on your team. I'm quite scared of him. I'm worried about what he can do on pretty much a lot of the stages. So Van der Poel will probably go on my team. Caleb Ewan is overpriced considering how many sprint stages there are. Naro looks pretty good, but again his town trial let him down. G, don't put him on, he's not in form yet. Mike Woods maybe, but him and Dan Martin are very similar. Won't do very well in the town trial, so his GC points won't do very well at the end. Bardet's in a similar boat. Formula will be working for Pogacar. Gaviria, no. Too few sprint stages. Kwiatkowski maybe, just that might just be because I like Kwiatkowski. Landa looks really good, but again that town trial will let him down. Could definitely finish in the top 10. Dan Martin, just as I said, probably don't put him on. Danny Martinez will be on domestic duty. Nibali, no. Sagan, coming back from COVID, needs race days, no. Gonna skip over a few now. Aram Baru, him and Fulsang swapping similar kind of roles. Aram Baru might not get his own opportunities for the sprints. I like the punchy sprints, Ballerini, good pick probably for 10 points. Potentially 2 sprint stages. Maybe he could do well on stage 3 as well. Peyo Bilbao did okay. Stadi, Cicconi's looked pretty good considering that he had COVID. Gannon will win the last stage, but he's overpriced for 10 points. Higuita could do really well for 10 points, GC and punchy stages. Merlier's done really well recently. Viviani, Vellens probably won't do like a podium on GC, but could be up there. 8 pointers now. And probably go with Tobias Foss if you're looking for one there. Maybe Genietz. Stefan Kung will do well in the town trial, more than likely a top 3. Quinn Simmons, what can he do after his fantastic Stradi performance? I'm not too sure. Van Avermaet and Van der Laan will be swapping again, similar roles. So you can pick either one of those really. Affini for 6 points will do well in that last town trial, but not much else. Aliotti is big GC prospect, but doesn't have a form yet. Asgreen I'd be putting on because of his town trialing and maybe a breakaway opportunity on stage 6. Simon Cowell's looked really good. If you're not putting him on, what are you doing? Fabro, will he be working for Patrick Conrad? Maybe. Will he get his own opportunities? Could do. Not too sure though. Could finish like top 20 GC. Gogol, outstanding performance at Stadi. Can he keep it going? Probably. GC performance possibly. Breakaways few and far between. Cantor for a sprint, but that's just kind of scraping at the barrel for points there, more than likely. Who else have we got? Rudy Millard, yes, he's probably underpriced at 6. Maybe put him on. Moschetti, the sprinter. Nelson Oliveira for the time trial. God, we're flying through these. Right, where are we at now? We're getting towards the bottom of the 6 points now. Rob Stannard, potentially, we might want to put him on. Who else have we got going down? Mads vs Schmidt. That's the end of the 6 pointers, going into the 4 pointers. And I can tell you there are very, very few 4 pointers. I'll try help you out here. If you really need some 4 pointers, maybe Tom Scully. He's got a decent time trial, as does Nathan Van Hooijdonk. They won't get many points, but they could end up getting about 50 if they do a decent time trial. Brent Van Moor is in a similar situation. Fred Wright is a fast finisher, but will more than likely be working for Colbrelli. And honestly, that's about it. Albert Torres for Movistar is kind of a sprinter, but he's so inconsistent that I'm not really sure if I want to recommend putting him on. Hepburn finished 20 odd in the UAE TT, which means he probably won't do much better here. Boaro usually gets in breakaways. That's about it. I'm just flicking back up to the top in case I missed anybody. I think that's about everybody. I won't be putting anybody from Ineos on other than Bernal. I won't be putting anybody from UAE on apart from Pogacar. By all means, Zhao I think could be a good pick, but I'm not sure. He'll get lots of points, but it's kind of him and Alaphilippe that's difficult. Pinot, too inconsistent. I won't be putting his chances too high. That's about it. 30 seconds left. All I'd say is if you have a rider who you want my opinion on, just get in touch over Instagram or Twitter. Just DM us and I'll get back to you and say what I think about a certain rider. Send us your teams. Really want to know what people are thinking. And all that's left to say is to keep your masks on, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Ciao. Salut.